What if I told you there's a house that doesn't stay empty for long? People move in, people vanish, and no matter how many locks you change or lights you leave on, it always finds a way back in. This isn't folklore. This happened, and it could have been any one of us. It started on a Tuesday. One of those evenings where the sky hangs low and the streets stay empty long after sunset. Elena had just pulled into the driveway of her new place. A modest home on a cul-de-sac. The kind that didn't ask for attention, but seemed to be watching anyway. The porch light flickered as she turned up. No big deal, she told herself. Old wiring. Nothing more. She was alone. By choice. After a long breakup and months of trying to feel normal again, this house was supposed to be her reset. Her silence. Her space. Inside, everything felt still. Not quiet. Still. The kind of stillness where sound doesn't echo. Where the floor creaks once without being touched. Where a cold draft brushes past, but the windows are closed. She unpacked in silence. A single lamp lit the living room, and from the kitchen, a soft click, like a door settling, or being nudged open. She froze, but it stopped. The first night in a new place always feels strange, she reminded herself. It's just walls and wood. But as she got ready for bed, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that something in the house had already been waiting. The first knock came on her third night. Just after 1 a.m., 3 steady taps, not urgent, not random, intentional. She got out of bed and walked to the front door. The porch light buzzed overhead. No shadows, no footsteps. She opened the door. Only the rain greeted her. No package, no prank. Just that empty stillness again, as if someone had just left and taken the air with them. She locked the door, twice, and tried to forget. But the next morning, her coffee mug was sitting on the edge of the table. The very edge, balanced perfectly. Elena remembered placing it near the center the night before. She was sure. A few days later, a book she had stacked neatly was now on its side. Only one. The rest remained untouched. Small things, things easy to dismiss, things that feel like memory, failing. But memory wasn't the problem. It was something else. On a particularly stormy morning, she opened the front door to grab the paper. And there they were, footprints. On the porch, bare, human, and fresh, still damp from the rain. They led right up to her door, but never away. She checked her camera, rewound the footage. Nothing, no figure, no animal, just the footprints slowly appearing, frame by frame, as if laid down by someone, not captured by glass or wire. She stood still for a long time, holding the doorknob, listening. The rain had stopped, but the air wasn't still anymore. It felt aware, and for the first time she realized this house didn't feel empty. It felt occupied. Have you ever felt watched, even when you're completely alone at home? Let us know in the comments below. Sometimes you're not imagining it. Elena started keeping the lights on at night. All of them. But the house didn't like that. Bulbs began to flicker, one by one. Not all at once, just enough to make her notice. One evening, the bathroom light clicked off completely. She flipped the switch. Nothing. She grabbed a flashlight, opened the bathroom door, and the light turned back on. She didn't sleep that night. That same week, her phone alarm went off at 3:13 a.m. She hadn't set one. She picked up the phone. The screen glitched just for a second, and on the lock screen, a photo. It was her hallway, dimly lit, taken from inside the house. She hadn't taken it. She deleted it. But it was back the next morning, exactly the same, but darker. And this time, a faint outline stood at the end of the hallway. She started locking her bedroom door at night, but twice she woke up to find it cracked open, just a few inches. Elena began writing everything down, times, events, noises, temperatures. She needed to prove to herself that something was happening. But the more she recorded, the less the house seemed to follow rules. One night, while brushing her teeth, she looked in the mirror. Behind her, for just a blink, a figure. No face, no movement, just presence. She spun around. Nothing. When she turned back, the mirror had fogged up, and on it, a handprint. From the inside of the glass. If your home began turning against you, what would be your first move? Would you run, or try to reason with something that doesn't speak? Elena didn't tell anyone until she met the neighbor across the street, Mrs. Gibbons, mid-70s, rarely left her house, always seen watching from behind the curtain. They met by accident, both reaching for a package left by mistake. Elena joked, "I think my house is haunted." Mrs. Gibbons didn't laugh. She looked Elena straight in the eye and said, "You moved into the wrong house. That place doesn't let go. Elena blinked, unsure if she heard her right, but the old woman was already turning away. They never find who it takes, they just stop asking. Faded newspaper clippings. A smiling young woman, Sarah Caldwell, last seen entering the same house 8 years ago. Never seen again. Her parents moved out within months. The house sat empty for years, until now. Elena starts seeing things, but only in reflections. A dark figure, tall, still, standing just outside her living room window. When she turns to look, nothing, but the glass always tells the truth. She stopped checking the mirrors, stopped opening the curtains, but it didn't matter. One night during a brutal storm, the power goes out. Complete silence. She lights candles, tries to stay calm. She walks past the front door and freezes. It's open. Wide open, the locks still turned, exactly as she left them, as if something didn't need to break in, as if it was already inside. She calls out, nothing, but just as lightning flashes, she sees it, a reflection in the hallway mirror, behind her, unmoving. Its face, not quite a face, just a void, but watching. She turns and it's gone. She shuts the door, bolts it, every lock, then backs away, never taking her eyes off the mirror. And on the glass appears a single word, scrawled in the fog, stay. If you were Elena, would you run? Would you fight? Or would you stay and find out who or what has been visiting? Elena stopped sleeping. She stopped pretending. The house wasn't just old, it was occupied. So she set up cameras, one in the hallway, one in the living room, one facing the front door. Every night she'd review the footage, and for days, nothing. Until one night, the hallway camera glitched for half a second. Then, a tall shadow stepped across the hallway. Long, slender, featureless. It never came from anywhere, and it never left. It simply passed by and vanished. But Elena never heard a sound, and no door ever opened. No floorboard creaked. She played it again, slower, frame by frame. The timestamp blinked, 3:07 a.m. That's when her phone lit up. A voicemail from her own number. She hesitated, then pressed play. Silence. Then, her own breathing. Not a recording. Live. Breathing. Her breathing. Paced. Anxious. Then, a whisper. I've always been here. She dropped the phone. The screen cracked on impact, but the message kept playing. Until it didn't. She called her carrier. No call ever went out, and none ever came in. It was internal. That night, she made a decision. She searched the entire house, room by room, door by door. Then she saw it, in the hallway. Above the linen closet, a panel. She never noticed it before. A small, square door. The attic. Dust lined its edges, but there, in the center, fresh fingerprints. Elena never touched it, never even knew it existed. She stood below, heart pounding, flashlight shaking. The ceiling groaned, softly, deliberately. Something was up there, and it had always been up there. Elena stood frozen beneath the attic door, the air pressing against her chest like a weight. She pulled the stepladder from the hallway closet, climbed, one slow step at a time. With trembling fingers, she pushed the attic panel upward. It was heavier than she expected. As if resisting, it gave way. A blast of cold air rushed down, and dust, years of it. She raised her phone light, shining into the blackness above. There was a space, low ceiling, old insulation, but something caught her eye. A mattress, a bowl, a set of shoes, small, worn, and recently used. In the far corner, photos, dozens of her, sleeping, brushing her teeth, reading by the window, all taken from inside the house. From angles only possible from above, and written across one of them in shaky, childlike handwriting, "You see me now." She gasped, stumbled down the ladder. The panel slammed shut behind her. But as she turned, the hallway light flickered. Then, a shadow, standing at the end. Tall, still, no face, no sound, just presence. She ran out of the house, into the rain, onto the street, but no one believed her. No trace of anyone in the attic. The photos were gone, the mattress removed, but she never returned. Not for her things, not even for her cat, because some places don't want you to leave, and others just want you to know they were there all along. If you ever hear a knock, but find no one outside, check above, check beneath, check your cameras, and ask yourself, are you alone or just unaware? What would you have done if you were Elena? Would you have stayed to uncover the truth, or left the moment the first knock came? Let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more. And remember, some visitors never knock twice.